Comrades, I am Admiral Andre and welcome back to Transport Fever, my free game specifically. I want to start this episode off with a bit of a disclaimer because I think it's important to just discuss this for a moment. Yes, we know already before that one of my episodes was lost, and then I moved on to the next one, which was episode 13, which I recorded on the same day. Well, yesterday, it was Sunday, I recorded 2 different episodes. I started with one, so that was episode 14, and I recorded it like I normally do, the same thing I do with Real Politics, and then afterwards I went to check where is the file now, and it was gone. It was the same thing that happened before. This is obviously a problem with shadow play, which I use to do my recordings. It says in the corner here, recording has started, and then I do the episode, and then I press the button again, and it says recording has been saved, but then if I go, the file is not there. So I did a short description of that like I'm doing right now, and that was fine, that was recorded, and then I went on to do the next episode, which was then episode 15, and the same thing happened. It was not there again. So that is a bit of a frustration. So right now I'm using Fraps, which I almost never use to do my recordings because the files are just so ridiculously huge. But I thought it's better to just try this instead of the same thing, and then I do episode after episode but nothing gets recorded, and then that's obviously no good. I've got the audio for those episodes, but you don't want an audio book. You're here for episodes. So that leaves me in a bit of a quandary. So right now I don't have any choice than to continue. So I'm still very much interested in continuing this series. Obviously I know my uploads are not super frequent, so I do apologize for that. But it's still there. So we're just going to have to continue now from this point. And so I have no idea what episode this should be. I know technically this is episode 16. So I'm guessing then I'll just name this episode 16 in YouTube as well. But just then be aware, why is there no 14 and 15? Because the same thing happened that happened to episode 12, which is as much of a frustration to me as it is to you, I'm sure. But the lucky thing is, again, I've been keeping my episode short, 20 minutes. So the good thing is not too much has happened in these 2 episodes that were lost. So hopefully I can just do a briefing quickly and catch you up on that. So let's begin then. The first thing that I did in episode, 14, was I just went through each and every town and had a look at the bus networks within each town to see if it is necessary to add more buses or more stops, because the towns grow over time. A good example is Oklahoma City. You can see here there's a new development in this part of town, but there's still no bus stop there because I decided it's not yet worth it here. There's too few buildings, so once they develop this more, we can add another stop there. But so I went through each and every town. Also, Mesquite had no bus network yet, but it now has one. And the same for Akron. Just a couple of buses. You can see there are some people waiting already. Lots of people waiting at the station here in Toledo, which is great. So that was the one thing, and another thing I did was just to create a new bus line between Santa Clara and the sister city of Santa Clarita right across the river. Just because Santa Clarita is one of our smallest towns on this map, and there's not really enough people to justify the airport yet. I mean, there's a few people who want to fly, but it's not cost effective. So by connecting another town, Santa Clara, to this one, I'm hoping that we can entice more people to fly. So that's one hope anyway. Then in episode 15, I just completed this train line that we started in episode 13. It wasn't running yet. This is now the one from Alexandria through to Thornton. So I just continued it with a double line all the way to Torrance, which I then also created the bus line for. and then the line goes through to Boston, which I also created the bus line for. So right now there's only one train running on this line. Let's see if we can find it. Is it this one? Nope. It's very easy to spot, and I'll tell you why in a moment. There it is. It's the same kind of design, you know, the Elco. That's my favorite diesel train, but it's the Elco PB, the one with the additional car here. Just because it has more acceleration and more power. I know we can't add more passenger cars now because that one basically takes up the place of one passenger car. But because the route is quite long and it does involve quite a steep climb here outside of Alexandria, I thought that is a better choice. So this train runs from Alexandria. It uses the same platform that the existing Lucky 7 does on this line. And then it just stops everywhere. It stops at Thornton, at Torrance, at Boston, and then again at Torrance and Thornton and so on. So let's run the clock. It's now 1979, so you can see you haven't missed much. It's 2 years in-game, basically, I think, more or less. So let's see, of course there's no one here yet. I just called this line the Valley Service because it's serving this valley, so not very imaginative, but anyway. Then also that reminds me now when I see this plane flying here. I tried something else, I think this was in episode 14, which was because I still love Santa Rosa. It's still, you know, it has a special place because this is where we started. I thought now that the town has grown, let's see, we can actually look at the chart, just look at that, since 1960, which is I think when we created this train line. You can just see how the city has exploded since then. So I was hoping that because of that, we can entice some of the people to fly again, since we have this very nice airfield anyway and spent all the time to create this nice little park here. And it's 1980, which is very, very auspicious. Let's stop the clock for a second. So yes, then I just created a new line here from Santa Rosa to Antioch. It should be here somewhere. The list is now getting quite long. There it is, Santa Rosa to Antioch. And it just has this, what is this, the Super Constellation. I just took the cheapest plane that we've got. So, but you can see this hasn't really worked. It's still early days, but I think it's really a bust. So we'll have to stop that soon. I just wanted to see maybe somebody will be willing to fly, but I guess not. They're all stuck on this train line. So now that it's 1980, let me see if I'm correct. If we go to the airports now, there we go. You see the airfield, the dirt one, is gone now, and we only have this two, the normal airport and the large airport. So I think this is the episode in which we change up this airport business here. So let's see. Obviously, upgrading this airport is not going to be a good idea. The problem is we're going to lose also a lot of people now who are standing here waiting. But there's actually a lot of people who want to fly to Athens. I'm a bit surprised about that. But you see, if I say upgrade right now and I click there, you see how big this airport is. It's just ridiculous. It will never fit in here because it overlaps with resources and all of that. So essentially what that means is we're going to have to completely destroy this airport and rebuild it, maybe there or diagonally or somewhere else, you know, just to give us the room that we need. So let me start with that. We've got some money now. Yes, I took out a loan as well to help pay for this new Valley Service train. So we still have quite a bit of debt, but the way that we are going now is hopefully meaning that it won't take too long to pay it back. You can see that the profits have dropped now because of all the vehicle expenses. Okay, 1980 obviously just started 6 days ago, so don't count that one. But the other ones, let's see, income, new vehicles, 17 million and 15 million. So it's just a loss because of that. So our business is still sound, I think. So let's see if I just try and place this here. I know the road is in the way right now. I just want to see what the terrain is like. Oh dear, it's quite bad because it runs counter to these contour lines. We should really go with the contour lines like this. But yes, that's not also so good. Look at this expense, it's a bit much. So the other problem with this is, of course, the planes will pass through the mountain again, as you can see right there in the front. So obviously I don't want that either. So let's see, where is another good place for an airport? It doesn't have to be right next to the town. We can maybe put it here somewhere. That could work perhaps. Or I think this is what I'll do. I'll just have to let the clock run and wait until all of the planes are away from the airport. Then I'm gonna blow it up and then just rebuild the other one in the same place but a bit further back and more pointing towards this area, so slightly diagonally. Now the problem is all the airplanes are landing here the whole time, so I wonder if we'll get the chance now to do that. I just don't want to blow it up while they're on the ground because obviously that will not be good. And I want to pause time while I'm doing that so that the service doesn't get interrupted. So let's see, where's the next plane? I don't see one, so let's speed it up a bit more and just wait for this plane to leave and the other one to also leave. Uh-oh, one of them is on approach again. So what happens if I do say delete now? Vehicle in the way. Yep, I was right. I could always turn it around to go back home to the other airport, but then we don't get paid. So yes, I'll just have to wait here now. The problem is we're a victim of our own success. But there's the issue again. Look at that. This one wanted to land, but then the other one is in the way. Look at that. So this is why I want to do the upgrade, because like it is right now, it's very inefficient. This kind of airport can't handle more than about 4 or 5 planes at a time, because they sort of meet here at the same time when the one is leaving and the other one wants to land. And that causes this plane now that wanted to land to go all the way around leisurely and then try to land again, and by then another plane might be in the way, and then this thing doesn't make money because it's just staying in the air the whole time. So sorry guys, I know there's 26 of you there waiting, but you're just gonna have to go back to your hotel or wherever you came from. Much love and much forgiveness. I'm sorry, I can't help that. So let's delete this road. Everything is paused now, so this airport gets built magically overnight. So my plan is like this. I know it's again not going to be perfect, but I think this will work better. There shouldn't be a problem with the mountains either. So if I put it here, I don't want this kind of in the corner here, this kind of huge overlap. It has to look a bit more natural, like that. I know of course you can never get it exactly like real life, so it's always got to be a compromise, but I like that. That works nicely. So the planes, let's see, on approach they'll still come from this side, so the orientation hasn't changed that much. But now they have a dedicated landing runway and a dedicated takeoff runway. And they'll still take off over the town, which I like. I just like that effect, you know, the people must see the planes and hear them. And the people in the planes must see the town. So now let me just make this connection. Obviously, I think this resource here, this steel mill is fine because it still has a connection to Alexandria. So we don't need to make this connection again, but we can. And I think I'll use a tunnel for that, just because it's anyway on an incline, so it will work. So let's see, is this a small road? No, it's a medium one, it looks like. So let's build a tunnel right under the airport. I like that idea. So it just has to go straight through and connect with that one. And then let's just drop this. Okay, that's quite a steep drop. Well, it still works. But then again, okay, let me stop for a second. I just thought about something. In my own games, I often find that when I want to upgrade this airport with more terminals, it doesn't allow me because there's things in the way. Look at that. You can see, look at this change here. If I had built that tunnel now, we won't be able to do this upgrade. I will rather have the 3 terminals. Let's do that. Just because then each line, or at least 3 of our lines, will have independent terminals. So I think that looks a bit nicer, and we can handle more capacity because they don't have to wait for each other to load up the passengers. So now let's see if we can still build this tunnel. It might be a bit more difficult now. No, hey, we can build an... No way. That will never work. But I'm so tempted by this. To build a bridge over the runways, then the planes have to land underneath that. We might have a problem right there where they want to load up. But wouldn't this be awesome? I'm suddenly very tempted by this idea. I'm gonna do it just for the show. I've never done this before. Shall it be this way or this way? I like these pillars more. I basically never use these flat pillars. But then again, what looks better, this or this? I think this. It gives more visibility for the planes anyway. So I'm going to do that. That's crazy. They'll never allow this in real life, but okay. This is our showpiece airport. We're really proud of this town. This is our headquarters. And I would like to make a very impressive airport for us. So there we go. Now, next thing. Let's see. I want to connect this to the road that we've got here already. Or, no. Because this is our cargo road. I don't want the passenger buses to go here as well. So we'll have a separate road for this. We still have the trams running here. I wonder, should we continue with that? Maybe. Unfortunately, there's a tram there now. Another option could be to actually run a train from the station around here to the airport. I want to do that just because it's more impressive, you know. It will probably be a total money loser, but just for the fun of it, let's try that. So now I need to find a way to connect this just temporarily because there's a tram there. And I need the airport to start working immediately as soon as I unpause time. So how am I going to do this? Let me think for a second. I want this road to be pretty straight here. That looks decent. And then I'll just connect it temporarily to that one there. So that shouldn't disrupt our cargo very much. I see some of them are using this road, but not for the stone at least. So then we'll need a stop here, and I'll just let the trams continue on here, but I'll stop with the trams very soon. So I'll just put a stop like that. It doesn't have to be anything special right now. Then let's upgrade this with tram lines. I don't know what the difference between just a tram line and an electric one. Oh, okay, obviously it's the overhead wires, so let's do that. But then I assume you can run a tram without the overhead wires if they give you a choice. Oh well. So yes, let's just then change this line. So which is that? Miller Street. So delete Miller Street and add that one. It should work. I know this is not really sensible because the lines just stop there, but the trams will turn around. And then let's just make sure the airlines are still working. Let's see. Alexandria Airport. So I'm going to have to delete this one. Alexandria West is what this one is called now. So Alexandria Airport, remove, add. Alexandria, no. This one doesn't come here, so it's fine. This is the Santa Clarita to Antioch and then the Santa Rosa to Antioch. So we can now add a lot more capacity to this airport because it can carry many more planes. So I think that does it. Let's run the clock. I hope I haven't forgotten anything, but there we go. They're still deleting that technically. But yes, hopefully the people will start to come back to this airport soon. But I just love this road. I didn't even know this was possible to build a bridge over an airport. But I really love how it just lines up with the runway. I think that's probably not an accident. You can see the spaces here are quite small, but here they're much bigger, so the bridge automatically aligns to that. Well, that's a fantastic feature. Let's see, are the trams coming here now? Of course, all the passengers disappeared, so this will take a little bit of time to come back again. Yep, it looks like it's working. Let's find an airplane that's about to land here. Hopefully we didn't interrupt any of the existing flights. Let's pick this one. Yep, there's still 6 passengers on board, so that's fantastic. Road Vehicle 75 has reached its lifetime. What is this? What does it do? This is the Santa Rosa Construction Materials line. So let me replace it with the new Peterbilts. So we want construction material, okay, yes, for 100%. There we go. I must say, I really love how this map is coming along. It's every time you play a game of Transport Fever with the random maps, it's totally unique. It has a completely different feel to it. Recently I started playing one on my own again, where it's a European map, and it's really quite amazing, I have to say. There's lots of rivers and things. So maybe one day when this one is done, I'll use the same seed for another series that I'm now using on my own. So I think that one has a lot of potential to maybe start in 1850 and then play the whole time period. So where's a plane? I want to see a plane land here. We have people waiting already, which is fantastic. How many? Just 3. Okay, they want to go to Antioch, which is of course the main line. What do we have? We've got the Concorde. Is it worth getting a Concorde for this? Probably not. Those are not usually money makers. They're more showpieces. I still need to now upgrade this airport as well, which I also think won't be possible. Hey, it is actually possible. I don't have to delete it. That's fine. But now obviously it's going to cost too much, but I can just take out some money for that. Just pause for a second. Somebody is about to land, so maybe I should let them land first. And there goes my clock. I just set it for 23 minutes this time to just allow a few more minutes for me to explain all about the lost recordings. So just stop here and take out some money. Oh dear, not repay, take out money. Let me just do this before ending the episode. So I want the new one, yes, and I want 3 terminals, which it magically does allow. This is very rare because oftentimes you'll find there's things in the way. Okay, do it. It's done. We lose all the passengers again, but that's unfortunate. It's just temporary. This will adjust, so at least we don't need to recreate the lines. They should still all recognize that. There we go. So that was a thing that I'm glad we could take care of. The next one, or the next episode, we'll have to upgrade all of the airplanes and smooth this terrain and all of that and create the new train line and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm just really hoping this episode records now. So hope to see you next time, and if you see this episode, that means I finally found a way to make this work through Fraps, so I'll keep doing that in the future. Have a fantastic day.